Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Linnea and I'm sick. I've been sick for a couple of days. I'm feeling better, but yeah, it's not gonna stop me from doing my July wrap up because I had such a fun reading month. It was just one of those months where I just wanted to have a book in my hand at all times. I've got a little tea and some chocolate on the side. So grab your fika, get cozy, and let's talk about fiction. I've read 10 books this month, and I'm gonna break them up into 4 different categories. Number 1, royals and rakes. Number 2, messy modern love. Number 3, myths beneath the surface. And number 4, survival and brutality. And at the end, I'll share my favorite book of the month. So yeah, this is everything I read in July, from swoony historical romance to dystopian death games. Let's go. So first category, royals and rakes. It's gonna be all Regency romance. Not 1, not 2, but 6 Julia Quinn books and 1 Lex Croucher. I want to quickly mention about the Quinn books, what it is that I like about them so much. First and foremost, it's the back and forth point of view between him and her. Wants you to continue reading, something happens and it's from her point of view, and then you want to read his point of view, see what he thought about it, and it goes back and forth. I also really like the dialogue, and even though the characters aren't perfect, I kind of like that about those books. And I always fly through them, even on rereads, because it's only one of the 6 books that I read now that is a new read. All of the other ones are rereads. First up, we have the 4th book in the Rokesby family series. This is the generation before the Bridgerton siblings, the Bridgerton siblings' parents' generation. We meet Georgiana Bridgerton. Her reputation is ruined and she has a choice. Live the rest of her life as a spinster or marry the man that ruined her life. Yeah. But then Nicholas Rokesby offers a 3rd option. This is Friends to Lovers, and as with all of her books, I flew through it. Next up, we have 4 books in the Bridgerton series that I reread. The first one is The Viscount Who Loved Me. This is the 2nd Bridgerton book, and it's what inspired the 2nd season of the Netflix Bridgerton adaptation, with some key changes. But yeah, it's Anthony's love story, and as an eldest sibling, he decides it's time to marry, but for duty, not for love. He sets his eye on the seasoned diamond Edwina Sheffield, but her sister Kate does not approve and keeps getting in the way in more ways than one. Despite trying to deny their chemistry, well, they can't. This is also a book about facing your fear and how that can bring 2 people even closer together. And as I said, I kind of like that the characters are a bit flawed, and how the less flattering part of Anthony's personality stems a lot from him being a man, especially in that time, being the heir to the title and being very used to getting everything that he wants. To me, it's also about overcoming those things. So yeah, for me, it's part of the charm. Also, like, the show and the books are 2 separate things, for me at least. I think they stand on their own, and even though the books inspired the series, they are pretty much their own thing, and I really like that. I like the books and I like the series, and I'm not sitting there going, why me, I wanted them to believe. Sometimes there are things that I'm like, oh no, I really love that character. Okay, they choose to do that, but that's only my preference to a certain character maybe, or some plot point that I really liked. But it doesn't really matter in the end, because I got the books for that and I got the series for other things that I love that aren't in the books. So to me, they're two separate things. But it's also fun to just read the books and think about what they might bring into the series. So on that, we move on to the third book of the Bridgerton series, An Offer from a Gentleman. And this is Benedict Bridgerton's love story. This is the book that's inspiring the upcoming season of Bridgerton that we're gonna get next year. It's definitely a Cinderella retelling, but I love Sophie's character, Benedict's love interest, and him as well. And this is one of my favorite books of the series. And I just can't wait to see what they do with it in the show. There's also a specific scene in this book. I'm like curious to see if they're going to include it or not. But yeah, flew through this one, of course, as well, even though it was a reread. Then I skipped the fourth one. It's not my favorite. It's Colin's love story. And even though Colin is one of my favorite characters throughout the whole series, the love story just didn't really resonate with me. But yeah, so next up is the fifth book, and it's Eloise's love story. She pictures herself as a spinster, living out her life with her best friend Penelope Featherington. But when Penelope gets married, it's sort of like her world turns upside down and she runs away. But where is she going then? Well, she herself got an unexpected marriage proposal in the mail. I was actually going to reread the next one, and then I was like, hey, I'm gonna take Eloise's first because it's in the right order, even though I want to read the sixth one more. Just because Eloise is still in the mix in the show. She hasn't had her season yet, and I just wanted to remind myself a little bit more what happens if we're gonna get some clues in the next season. I'm so ahead of myself here because we're just gonna have to wait forever, it feels like. But the day will come and I'm prepared. Next up is the sixth book, and this is Francesca's love story. We met Francesca a little bit more in the latest season of Bridgerton, if anyone's watching or wondering. This is a little bit different than the other ones, and it might be what I like so much about this book. There's one thing in here though that I don't like, but hey, I said that I like that the characters are flawed and not perfect, so I knew what I was getting into. But yeah, it's a friends to lovers. It takes us through secret feelings, grief, and a lot of passion. Yeah, so that was it for the Bridgerton series. The last Julia Quinn book is in the Smythe-Smith series. Thanks for that name. This is a series with 4 standalone books, and this is the third one. Yes. These books, I think, play out parallel to the Bridgerton books, but just another family. The 4 characters in these books are members of the Smythe-Smith Quartet. That's a famously terrible musical quartet that involves the unmarried women of the Smythe-Smith family. I like that I read all of these 4 in chronological order when I read them the first time, because there are some backstory to this book that gives it a little more depth, but you can still read this as a standalone. So after a family scandal, fiery and dramatic Sarah Plainsworth is forced to spend time with the man that she swore she would never forgive, Hugh Prentice. But old grudges begin to fade, their unlikely connection grows into something deeper, and they're forced to put aside their pride and face the past. Yeah. This book is actually what sparked this rereadathon. It's one of my favorite Julia Quinn books, and I had not really stopped thinking about it since I first read it. I don't really know what exactly it is that I connected with so much. I like the story, I like the characters. Maybe it also was something to do with having the background of it play out in the first two books. Maybe. One of my favorites anyway. And before we move on from Regency romance, we have the last one, which is Infamous by Lex Croucher. This is, as I said, Regency romance. It's friends to lovers and queer love. I took this book on a trip. I made a vlog about it, this and another book. I had a hard time finishing it. I didn't finish it for that vlog. I finished the other book, but this one, well, now I finally finished it. And it got better. It really did. But my biggest struggle was the main character. I just really didn't like her. At one point, she describes herself. She was starting to suspect that her stupidity knew no bounds. And I was like, yes, yes. Is this gonna be a turning point? This is exactly her. Is she now gonna realize that and like make better decisions? And then like a page later, she's as stupid as ever. Yeah, it got better, but I never really understood what Rose saw in her. I liked Lex Croucher's other books better, I would say, his Reputation and Trouble. And I'm still glad I finished it because it was a nice ending. I would still recommend reading her books and trying this out. Maybe you don't hate the main character as much as I did. Maybe you do, but you like that kind of thing. I do as well. I mean, I just said before, but like, there's a limit somewhere. I don't know what it is, but it's a line and she crossed it. Moving on to the next category, messy modern love. I only have one book in this category. It's Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I'm not going to talk too much about this book because I already made a vlog about reading this because it's the first Emily Henry that I've tried. It's a slow burn romance between a sharp-tongued literary agent and a brooding editor that just keeps bumping into each other. It's exploring love, grief, and ambition, sprinkled with some humor. But check out my vlog if you want a more in-depth review on this one. Next up is also a one book category, and it's Myths Beneath the Surface. Here we have Mysterious Fathoms Below by J.A. Good. It's a piracy romantasy. And we're back in the Regency era, but it's Bridgerton meets Pirates of the Caribbean. The main character, she is running from something. I'm not going to say what. And to get herself out of a situation, you can say, she needs to find a treasure. But there's only one person that she can turn to for help. We have Haunted Pasts, Deep Sea Secrets, and Found Family, which is one of my favorite tropes. This came out this year, so yeah, now I just have to wait for who knows how long for the next one, because yeah, it's a series. So the last category, Survival and Brutality. This is going to be the Stephen King portion of this video. I have my ongoing challenge that is to read all of his books in publication order. I finished Running Man. We meet the main character in a bleak future where the rich thrive and the poor are, basically disposable. And yeah, he's a desperate man who enters a deadly game show just to try and save his family. The book, I felt, has like a harsh and sort of chilling tone to it, exploring a theme that for me at least is very relevant, even if this takes it to the extreme. And it's how media distractions keep us from seeing what's really happening around us, and same with polarization. So this book really made me think, and I felt impacted by it, but it was still like my least favorite Stephen King so far. Until I read the next one. And that is The Gunslinger, the first book in the Dark Tower series. Now, I know I've already heard people say that this is not their favorite and that it is a bit of a weak one. But if I remember correctly, he wrote this way before he wrote some of the work that was published before this one. But yeah, The Gunslinger follows Roland and his pursuit of the mysterious man in black, setting the stage for his larger journey toward the Dark Tower. While the premise is intriguing, and the audiobook narrator really helped, he was so good, by the way. But it still says a lot that I needed the help of an audiobook to get through this, because I don't really like audiobooks. But hey, I don't know. Maybe this is a turning point for me with audiobooks, at least. So what was it then? It felt a bit vague and rambly at times. More like a really long prologue, and not so much as a true beginning to a series. As I said, I've heard other people say that this book is like the weakest one in the series. I don't know if that's true, but I still really look forward to reading the whole series. And maybe this is one of those books where you appreciate it more in hindsight when you've read the whole series and maybe reread this one. I'm gonna continue on my Stephen King journey either way, so I will get to the other Dark Tower books as I go along. But yeah, my biggest struggle so far when it comes to Stephen King. That was all of them, and I promised that I would give you my favorite book of the month, and that was Mysterious Fathoms Below. It just resonated with me so much, and there was such lovely character growths in this as well, and it set up what is hopefully going to be a great second book. It also sparked an idea in me to do a full-on nautical themed book recommendation video, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, so what's next then? I don't have any books that I've started and that I'm gonna finish in August, so I'm gonna start on a clean slate. First and foremost, I'm going to read Onyx Storm. I'm buddy reading these with a friend, and I know I said before that I was gonna start this, and I did, but I immediately felt that it was too close to Iron Flame. I needed a break. But now I'm gonna start this one so that me and my friend can full on talk about these books, because she's already read it and she's just waiting for me. waiting, biting her tongue. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it so that we can talk about it. I also purchased some new books, and one of them is The Night and the Moth. I don't remember much about what it's about. Actually, I just really, Rachel Gillig, I really loved her duology, The Shepherd King. The magic system in those books are so good. So I was just so intrigued. Also, I'm not usually one to jump at new releases, but this one I was really looking forward to. So might start that one. I'm not really good at like deciding TBRs and sticking to them. So these are just like what I'm feeling at the moment. I also bought If We Were Villains, and I bought this secondhand. Not really a thriller mystery girl, but this to me, it sparked an interest. And once in a while, I'm like, is it time to try another thriller? Maybe. So we'll see what I think about that. I also have another project that I'm working on, but I just need a rainy day off to really bring it home. It's something I'm gonna have fun with, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's everything from this month. It's been an emotional ride. Let me know in the comments what your favorite book of the month was. I'm curious to know. And if you don't want to miss my full nautical themed rec video, then make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself. And happy reading.